back to another episode of The Stable. I'm excited about this one because as you can see, my 96, the OG red, is finally up on the lift. It's actually the first time we've had this car on the lift, and we got some goodies for it. So, being that this is the first time with this thing on the lift, I'm just kind of looking over some things. We did put 410 gears in it last time, didn't get to run it very much like that. Still need to get these axle tubes welded, but as you can see, we got upper and lower control arms adjustable, which the pinion angle is still not right. We did add Fox body springs to this thing, but the car is still extremely stiff in the back, and that's even with our Viking double adjustable. So I think I need to go with a softer spring. I think I'm just going to do the Team Z drag springs, but as you can see, we also have our subframe connectors, but I think we do have a rear main seal leak because it's always wet under here. And I know we got some oil dripping down from the top, but the issue why we're here is right here. So we do got some replacement Comp 262 cams. They're a little different than the ones I have. I believe the RPM range starts 200 RPM later and pulls 200 RPM higher, which is, still pretty good. The adjustable crank sprockets from Trick Flow, and we had our cams degreed from Modular Head Shop. So we have our GT40 followers and new lash adjusters. So the reason for this is because I went to go replace the valve cover on the driver's side, and if you guys seen the video when I said it was broke, the cam lobe is chewed up on that side. So very carefully drove this car over. Hopefully we didn't get too much more metal in the oil pan. Truthfully, I wouldn't even known that it was chewed up if I wouldn't have went to go do the gaskets. So you guys aren't gonna be able to see it, but it's a bolt right down in here that just doesn't want to tighten up, which if you see my bolts, I got some of the ones with the long studs and short ones from when this car had the coil packs in the front. Obviously I don't need those anymore, but what I've been waiting for almost 2 years to finally put on this car, I finally was able to buy a set of these Trick Flow valve covers for the 11 bolt from LMR. It was the last set they had in stock when I bought those. So finally get a chance to put those on, and I'm gonna put my nice pretty alternator back on, because I pulled that off because I thought it was the issue, but it turned out it was actually just the power wire, or our wire over to the alternator that was weak. So game plan is everything's coming off the top of the car. So the coolant, supercharger, intake, aftercooler, all that stuff's coming off. Timing cover, so we can do the cam replacement. We'll have to degree those cams, in which hopefully I need to call Modular Head Shop today, actually, just because they went ahead and did the groundwork. So I think it should be pretty simple. It's not going to take me any time to pull this car apart, because this is my baby. This is one I've started with, so I know it pretty well. And we deleted all the EGR stuff, so nothing to fight on the back of the motor. So guys, the other thing I wanted to point out about this car, I forgot I did it, but you can't see the numbers on that real well without my flashlight. But that is a 287 pulley I have on that, so I was spinning this thing pretty good. So I don't know. Part of me says I need to put the 312 back on there. The other one says keep leaving this one, because the only goal, like I said a few times now, is to get our 125 track speed in this car and then call it a day, and then wait on the built motor to come in. And I can't forget everybody, this is Nyx. You've guys seen my dog Triton in the background of some videos. Just got Nyx maybe about a month ago now. So she has been a great addition to the family so far. Slowly trying to turn her into a shop dog too. We do kind of got her tied up right now, just so she doesn't go over to that pan and start licking oil and fluids and stuff. All right guys, I don't know if you can see it well, but there's just a little shimmer to it. Don't mind the dirty ass oil pan, but there is a tiny bit of shimmer to it, which I kind of expected, since we have a cam lobe getting chewed up, but I don't see any chunks or anything like that, so hopefully nothing crazy. All right guys, some more progress. Forgive me, I moved the light, but I just gonna use the electrical connector to cap off our oil sending unit. All the oil's out the car, as you guys seen. our oil lines for the blower are disconnected, which I'm gonna, when all this is done and put back together, guys, I'm gonna get some cheap oil, run it through there, try to clear out anything else that could be left. But like I mentioned, our gasket was leaking, so you can see the oil running down to our collector right there. So that is gonna be addressed. Removed our AC delete pulley, and then right here, we had that bolt, the bolt right in here, and right there, and then the whole blower is ready to come off. I take it off with the bracket, and I disconnect the hose from right here that goes to the sending unit, just because it's kind of a pain to do the one up there. So literally all I gotta do is pull those bolts out, and then the blower's off. So with that, the blower is off. Now we gotta pull our thumb racing belt tensioner off. Nix is over there slowly turning into a shop dog. But yeah, so once that comes off, the reason I haven't started with the top of the motor yet is because this thing still has coolant in it, and I don't necessarily have like a clean bucket to dump all the coolant into. But that is going to be on the list to do soon. But I just wanted to get everything else kind of moving out the way. I can't even move the aftercooler because it also has coolant in it. So, and I think that is going to have to fully be moved out the way, because I don't think I can pop that valve cover off. Well, actually, I mean, I might be able to slide it forward, or maybe even see if I got enough slack in my hoses here to maybe put a table right here and lay it on the outside of the car. Kind of see how I bungee corded the aftercooler out the way. Definitely need to clean off this timing cover, but all that stuff's done. Still haven't located my spacer for the supercharger. I'm sure that will come up. But as you can see here with this long bolt, when I went to go put this intake on last time, all of our threads ripped right out of the head. So gonna have to try to get some helicoil or some, and hopefully they hold better than it was before, because I think we do have some fluid down in there. So have to address that once the intake is off. But really, guys, the intake is almost there. Fuel rails will come off with the intake, so it's just disconnecting the lines over there. And then and truthfully, the neck of the intake could actually come off with it too. So just got to figure out what to put all this coolant in. All right, guys, so not much more progress on the top. However, we got the water pump pulley off, power steering's disconnected. Some of the bolts are done for the oil pan. So really everything left is up top. So we just got some final bolts for the timing cover, kind of like in the around the V shape, power steering, reservoir bracket, and then our valve covers and the timing covers ready to come off. But I just got to pop the intake off, which we did drain the coolant. So probably tomorrow I'll come out here, get the upper intake off. We'll find out why we got so much oil down in the valley, and we'll go from there. However, we'll see. As you guys can see, like, my thread's ripped out of here, so we have this long bolt with a nut on the bottom, kind of sandwiching that because there was a leak there. And then I know maybe it's 1 and 2 that there's some kind of janky inserted helicoil in there that I did, trying to just sandwich this thing together. So we'll address that tomorrow and see what it looks like. All right, guys, so here we are, day 2, or the next day. So yesterday was a good birthday dinner, but now we can get started on this. So I thought what was going to hold us up was missing some parts, because I forgot to order some things, but Amazon came through with a ARP crank bolt. Local O'Reilly's had timing cover, gaskets, and then I had the little, I guess, nipple for the heater tube underneath the intake, because I don't know, there's oil or coolant underneath the valley, and that may have been leaking last time. So where we left off yesterday, all I got to do is pop the fuel lines, and then kind of move some of this stuff out the way. Intake can come off, and then we just have the power steering bracket and reservoir, move that to the front, and then pop the timing cover off. Back at it with another update for you guys. So I said this one you can kind of see had started, but this cam lobe back here was the issue. You can see how it's chewed up on the outside right there. So all of the timing components look good though. So all we gotta do is rotate the crank keyway over to the 9 o'clock position. So I gotta put the car in neutral to do that. And then he said, well, I guess we gotta pull the chain off passenger side first, huh? But then when we assemble everything, driver side first. All right, guys, I don't know if you can see the little pink right there, but we got our Trick Flow specialty adjustable crank sprocket on there. Thanks. So believe that's in the right spot. Believe we got the little spacer in the right spot. So now it's grabbing our chains again and kind of reassembling everything. Yeah, there's no, well, no, we got to pop the cams out. Yeah, I got way ahead of myself. We got to pop the cams out, guys. Our little journals look good right there. I popped out a follower because I am replacing them to the GT40 ones, which I think they said under like so many RPM that frees up like 5 horsepower. But I did it to increase the oil pressure up there. This is a cam from my side. This one looks good, so there's nothing wrong with that one. And like I said, way back probably 8-10 years ago, we did have them degreed from Modular Head Shop. But my dad's side is the problem. And part of the reason to upgrade the lash adjusters and the followers was because I don't know if one of those seized up on that side that caused that cam in the back to start eating itself. So went ahead, played it safe. So I'm gonna pop all these out. Do these lash adjusters just pull out? Yeah, those just pull out. So I'll go ahead and get all of my side in, and then the rest will just be the opposite side. Throw the new cams in there, and then we can start assembling everything. All right, guys, based on our notes and talking to Modular Head Shop, believe our dots are facing the right direction. They're roughly about 9 to 10 on my side. Crank sprocket is down at 9, and passenger side should be 2 to 3. So you got to keep going, Dad.
Yeah.
Just a red rag. That's right there. You passed it.
Yeah, but you don't sit down in there. That's the problem.
Jumping back into it. So my dad's finishing up his side, but we got the cam bridges back on. Torque specs online. I seen some guy listed between 70 and 106 inch-pounds. So my side still moves freely. We had to get that side actually kind of bolted in and then rotate the cam to about 2 to 3. So next is the guides and chains and tensioners. You need me to hold that light?
Man, why is something off?
I'm glad we're gonna get this on video, so if the timing's off when we fire it up, it's gonna be your fault.
That is weird.
All right, a little bit later. So it's not the best, but it's better than what it was. So I took that down to the car wash, pressure washed that and our power steering bracket. And then before we left, my dad was cleaning up all of our timing cover bolts. So those are good to go now. So once the timing cover goes on, we'll use gasket maker, you know, do the corners down there with the oil pan. And then up here up top, put our bolts in. Cams should be good and all that's torqued down. So then it's finally putting the Trick Flow valve covers on this thing. Kind of got caught up working, guys, but timing covers on. Gotta make sure the harmonic balancer's tight. Water pump pulley needs to be tightened up. That valve cover is tight. This one, I think it is. I need to double check these bottom ones, which are a pain. But once that stuff is checked, well, truthfully, once just this valve cover is checked, our intake can go on over here. But last night I celebrated my birthday with my girlfriend and her dad. So tonight I am celebrating it with my family. So I'm about to grab the new shop dog, Nix, who's probably tired and hungry. Grab her and then head to my house and kind of continue the festivities. So that's gonna do it for tonight. All right, guys, so next day, I think I got the bottom row of this valve cover tight so that all that should be good and squared away. I went to my Pro-Am kind of big mouth air filter was dirty, so I just kind of cleaned that out. This seems solid, so hopefully that doesn't break off. And then I kind of just did a quick kind of wipe down of the top of the bullet intake. So My dad is inside getting ready, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to lift that intake and set it down on my own. So I think I've done it before. I just got to make sure I kind of, the ass end goes down first and then the front kind of sits down, and I kind of clean some more oil out of there. So we'll definitely do something different with the venting of the pressure, but these valve covers are baffled on each side, but I'm definitely gonna have to redo the whole system or vent it to atmosphere. So we'll figure that out when we get there. A little bit of a process, but not too bad. I did kind of pad this just in case I had to sit the intake down here. I didn't want our bolts that are still in there to scratch it up, but sorry, a little winded from doing that on my own. But you can kind of see a good picture of what it's gonna look with the new valve covers on there. And hopefully if we do have a leak, I can still squeeze my hand down in there and get to them. So next, I guess just working on bolting the intake back down. Hopefully, fingers crossed, guys, that our bolts still tighten down. This one shouldn't be an issue right here because we had that long bolt that sandwiched that in there. This one could be, and these two could be. But we'll just have to see how that goes once we get there. Really got carried away on this, so majority of it's put back together. When Dad was out here giving me a hand, it just kind of got caught up working. But I did the whole bullet intake series, so it's kind of the same. The only thing that's different now is I'm gonna have to reroute the PCV system on here. Everything is hooked up, majority, except for our power pipe, which that epoxy still felt just a little sticky. But went ahead through the newer polished alternator on. I just threw a cheap can of oil in there, hopefully to pick up and get anything off the bottom pan that we might have sucked up in there. So just need to put the belt on, drain that oil out, put our good oil in there, replace the filter, and do our power pipe. But I guess in the meantime, I can do our vacuum lines. Guys, oh man, so like 90% of this went fast. Last 10% kicked my ass. Had to throw my old alternator on there for whatever reason. When I use that polished alternator, the belt doesn't want to align. It chirps, it does all kinds of craziness. So thought I had the car done, had to switch back to my other alternator. But I'm having battery issues. I need to get a new one. I had that one charged up, but it's only showing 10 volts. But once it kind of settles down, it's idling. All right, so here it is. So belt quit chirping. It's chirping a little bit, but I did drip some antifreeze down on there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the content. I guess there kind of really wasn't too much because I didn't have the phone on me because I was trying to get this car done so I could get home. I've worked on this car literally every day this weekend, and there it is, idle dropped. But it's back up and running. So hopefully you guys enjoy the content. There will be more with this car coming soon. Next will be transmission and getting it ready to go race. And we'll probably do another dyno on there because I never got it dynoed again after I dropped down the pulley, added the power pipe, the bullet intake, and now these cams are a little bit different. So we gotta get those things sorted out. We'll get on the dyno and see what it does, and then back to the truck we go. So please be sure to like, subscribe, catch you on the next one.